Indiana Jones is on the quest of a lifetime. But for some adventures, one Jones is not enough.
Dad? Junior? Don't call me that, please.
After doing 2 period dramas in a row, Spielberg returned once again to his beloved franchise, which he would now wrap up into a trilogy. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The Last Crusade. You just couldn't keep your promise, could you, Steven? Given that Temple of Doom was too dark for most people, Spielberg returned to his roots. Almost scene by scene. It begins in a very similar way as Raiders. It has a great chase scene towards the end, a biblical legend as its main storyline, but instead of a leading lady this time, we get Sean Connery. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is actually my favorite Indiana Jones movie. Temple of Doom was the first one I saw, and Last Crusade was the second one I saw. And after Temple, Last Crusade is like a fresh shot of energy. The film opens with Indiana Jones as a young man, showing that he's been stealing artifacts for museums since he looked like River Phoenix. We then cut to the present, and things feel very familiar, as Indiana Jones is stealing artifacts and teaching archaeology on the side. He's approached by a millionaire and a future bad guy cliché to search for the legendary Holy Grail, which of course the Nazis are looking for as well.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
And it's back to the stuff audiences loved in the first movie, which you could argue is a detriment because it doesn't feel particularly new. At the same time, I think the stuff they do here improves on Raiders. Well, let's talk about the positives. First of all, I love Sean Connery as Indy's father. It's nice casting to have James Bond as Indy's Pop-Pop. And it's also great that it subverts the expectation of having this cool, rugged character have a father who's a nebbish bookworm. And I'm being sincere when I say that I think this might be Sean Connery's best performance. He succeeds as a comic sidekick in all the ways that Short Round does not. And at the same time, there's some great moments between father and son. Their relationship never feels phony or just played for laughs. By the way, neither one of them are supposedly wearing pants in this scene. Now I will say that compared to Raiders, most of the movie doesn't have as many memorable set pieces. They're well executed and you could argue even better than Raiders, but it just doesn't stick in people's minds as being iconic. One thing I think absolutely rivals Raiders is the ending. I always felt that Raiders sort of petered out towards the end. I mean, I love seeing people's faces melt, don't get me wrong, but the sequence where Indy has to go through all these booby traps, I love that sequence. In hindsight, I wish the film was a little different than Raiders so that at least it would stick out more. Lucas originally had an idea for a haunted castle movie, which probably would have been cool. But the final product works extremely well despite some of its monotony. Last Crusade was a hit for audiences, and critics embraced the return to form. I like to think this was the perfect ending place for Indiana Jones. The perfect ending. Despite some people disagreeing with me, the film takes you on a thrilling adventure and then rides off into the sunset.